Today we're going to focus on another type of factoring that we can use to solve polynomial equations. Today is called factoring by grouping. Now the big thing to know, factoring by grouping, you need 4 terms for. All right, that's the only way that this works, is if you have 4 terms. What you end up doing when you have those 4 terms, you end up grouping the first 2 terms together and the last 2 terms together. So I would put them in parentheses right away to kind of make those groups. Now, what you end up doing once you have those groups is you factor out from the groups individually. So for example, in this first group, you have an x cubed and a 3x squared. So what that means is an x squared comes out of both of those terms, okay? And I'm only looking at the first parenthesis. When I take out an x squared, well, I'm starting with x cubed, taking 2 of those out, so it leaves me with x. And with the entire x squared gone, that just leaves 3. From my second parenthesis, I need to look again, what factors out? Well, I notice that a 2 factors out of both of those. So 2x divided by 2 is x, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So again, all I'm doing is I'm pulling those out individually so I can factor them later. Now, if you notice, those parentheses that are left behind, they're exactly the same. That's kind of the key to this, is now I'm going to pull that parenthesis together. So I'm going to pull that together and write it first. And then I'm going to put my leftovers, that x squared and 2 are my leftovers that are going to go in my second parenthesis. So that's the power of factoring by grouping, is now I have this in factored form. So that means from here I can use the zero product property to finish this. So zero product property says I can set both equal to 0. So I get x equals -3. Now, here when I try to square root this, to get rid of the square, don't forget you get a plus and minus, and don't forget that when you are square rooting a negative, you end up with an I. Okay, so don't forget that's how you deal with square roots of negatives, is you end up getting an I. And again, don't forget that when you square root in an equation, you're getting the plus and minus. All right, critically important that you get both of those in there. All right, so let's try this strategy one more time, just to make sure you're getting a good grasp on it. So again, I group these together. So from that first one, I can see with an x cubed and an x squared, I can pull out the lesser of those exponents. I can pull out an x squared. Oh, taking x squared out, well, when I'm starting with x cubed, that's going to leave one of the x's behind. And then it's completely gone when you pull out the x squared from the 4x squared. And now in my second parenthesis, I can pull a 3 out of those to be left with x minus 4 again. This only works when you have the same thing left in both parentheses. Only way that you can make this happen. And when it does, now I pull those 2 parentheses. I pull them together. And in my second parenthesis, I put my leftovers, that x squared plus 3. And once I have this factored this way, now I can solve it using the zero product property. So I take both pieces and set them equal to 0. So I get that x is 4. And then when I subtract the 3 over, And now to get rid of a square, and just square root both sides, well, remember your plus and minus. And remember, because you're square rooting a negative, you get an I. And that is how you get your complete solution. All right. So again, quite a bit going on here, but as long as you have it written down when you get your practice work, you can follow those steps to make sure that you're getting to the right answer. So make sure you have all of it written down and come and ask if you have any questions still.